Hello everyone, I hope that you're having a great day. Today I wanted to talk about Bane and using him as an example of how to train in confinement, in your room, for example. And this might be really helpful because a lot of us might need to do this as we're in lockdown or we have to do quarantine. So I could help out talking about that. So as we know, Bane is one of Batman's greatest villains. So if the Joker represents anarchy, whereas Batman is order, then the challenge that Batman has with Bane is really with strength, because apparently Bane is stronger than Batman. And yeah, according to the comics, he developed all his strength in the confinement of his prison cell, right? In the comics, he grew up in prison because of the crimes of his father. And that's just an interesting topic because and you might think that this doesn't apply in real life. You might just say why are you using a comic character for trying to talk about this topic? But no, if you think about it, a lot of prisoners, a lot of them are buff. And you're gonna say that, yeah, but there are some prisons that have gyms. Yeah, that's true. But a lot of them don't. There's still prisoners that, they just have their cell and they just do all these body weight workouts and they get buff, they get ripped, they get strong. So I wanted to talk about how can someone do that. Well, basically one of the ways that you can achieve this is using fundamental calisthenics movements and just doing it for reps and reps and reps, countless reps, which goes even to a point that it might look like crazy. To give a real life example, the Great Gamma, he was an Indian wrestler. There was a point that he used to do 5,000, I think, Hindu squats. And that's how he developed massive legs with no weights. And another example is Mike Tyson. When he was in prison, he used to work legs in the squat pattern, and he used to do it by picking up cards from the floor and just doing all these patterns and doing massive sets. And yeah, when he went out of prison, he had massive legs, again with no equipment. So that's a way to be stronger, to create more muscle, to have bigger muscles. It's just to do all these body weight exercises, which look easy, but then doing it for a lot of reps. And then yeah, that works, because that's how you recruit most of the muscle fibers going to failure. For example, if I do push-ups right now and I go to failure, that's a similar effect actually as if I had weight and I did less reps. If you think about it, that's a similar effect actually as if I had weight and I did less reps. If you think about it, obviously the mechanisms are different, because doing it with weights will develop more, they're just different. But then at the end of the day, if you go to failure with a body weight exercise because you did a lot of reps and your volume was insanely high, you're gonna recruit all the muscle fibers as you do when you pick weights. So, and this is something that I want you to think about, right? So for the upper body, the training is based on, at least I do it this way, it's based on 4 movement patterns. Pressing horizontally, you can do that by doing push-ups. Pressing horizontally, you can do that by doing handstands. You work those muscles, and you don't have to do handstands free. You can obviously use a wall. You can do all these handstand drills and all that, and I can assure you that they will develop you muscular shoulders. There was a time when the lockdown started, and it was the beginning of the pandemic. the gyms were closed and everything. So, and I wanted to make my shoulders stronger. That was the goal. So I did a lot of like these handstand wall drills. Like for example, like shoulder taps, like like you're like this and then you go like that. And that developed a lot of my shoulders. And the other movement pattern is, and this one is harder to kind of recreate in a room, and it would be pulling horizontally and then pulling vertically. Now, if you're in a room, the only way that you could really pull vertically is using a door. So you open the door for the bathroom, for example, but then it might depend if you even have a door. Because, like, for example, in prison cells, sometimes the bathroom is just there, the toilet is just there, like next to your bed. But I'm talking about like a normal room, like a normal bedroom, and if you might have a door for your bathroom, then just you take the top of it, you grip it like this, and then you start doing like that. And then yes, it'll be really uncomfortable because you basically this like front part is like having contact with the door and there's friction, but I can assure you that that will keep you up with the vertical pulling. And then pulling horizontally, one way you can do it is using your table. So you lie on the floor and then you take the table like this, and then you basically make your face touch the bottom of the table. And yeah, again, if you want, you do it for countless reps and that will work. And then another way that you can build strength, because for example with push-ups, I can just give so many examples. Like a way to develop strength using push-ups is doing, for example, like explosive ones where you just try to do it and try to make like the greatest distance between your upper body and the floor in an explosive manner. You go like that, and then I can assure you do some sets of that like every other day, and you have massive pecs eventually at some point. And also like another way is just trying for calisthenics variations but that are harder, then at this point it really depends on the person to by themselves try to find information about like bodyweight exercises, because there are some bodyweight exercises out there that are hard. Now yes, you might be limited because some of them depend on equipment, but I can assure you, you'll find some that you can do in your bedroom that they're just hard. For example, just holding yourself in a handstand wall, that's already very hard. And then if that's not as hard for you, then do it with one hand, right? And try to see how long you can hold. Obviously, I don't want you to collapse and go to the and get injured or something. But then just try. If, for example, if you're like this with two hands and you think that's relatively easy and you want more stimulus, then do it with one arm. That's what I used to do. Now, I haven't done that anymore, but for you, like you'll feel it in the triceps and you'll feel it in the shoulders. So obviously we all would like to have like perfect equipment every time, but then it's out of these situations. It's out of these situations when you don't have as many resources that you can truly see your mental strength in that way. Because there are some people that if they don't have a gym, they give up. They say, I'm not gonna do this anymore, because they think that because they don't have the gym, then they make that an excuse to just not work out. But then you see the true mental strength when people just keep it up. Doesn't matter if they're in a prison cell or anything, they just keep it up. They just do whatever they can to achieve the strength or more musculature or whatever goal you have. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Thank you.